Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is the Chronicles of Apple from the apple of my eye. Anita Pua Naim Miod. Anira Sa Shalom. Gam Shalom Itob. Anyhow, I'm trying to learn a little bit of Hebrew. And Madaberet Ibrit Rakasat Toda Rabba. So anyway, Tob Iton. No, that doesn't sound right. I just really wanted to pray over Israel and calling on the children of God that there will be there will be army of young people praying for Israel in the days to come. My heart just really goes out to the Jewish people right now because of all the things that they have to go through, and it must be done. We have a situation where we are either in the Third World War or we're getting right into it, and we have to endure. And so Gaza, praise the Lord, so far, Netanyahu is saying that they're gonna have the place indefinitely. And that is good news for me because I do believe that the Jews have won. The conquest for the area has been done over and over, and every time I would read about these prophets, it was always revolving around Samaria, is always revolving around Edom, it's always revolving around Gaza. So Samson definitely had to fight with the Philistines. It sounds like he falls in love. The Jews have a tendency to fall in love with the Philistines, and there must be gorgeous women in Philistines. So the bloodline of the Philistines, there's connection between the Greeks from the Crete and the Philistines. Okay, so the Philistines, there's no guarantee that the people called Palestinians are the Philistines, but they've done some DNA and they found that there are people that are called Palestinians that kind of their DNA kind of matches some of the Philistines, and the Philistines do have a connection to the seafaring people, and Gaza is one of their docking points. So the way I understand the world, there are tribes, and the Lord moves around the tribes, right? So he also orchestrates how the people are going to get the place. And the promise of Israel is for the Jewish people. So being Jewish is not so much as, it's not about flesh and blood here, okay? It almost doesn't, it negates the necessity. I mean, you can know your DNA, but it's your spirit. What kind of values are you upholding? Okay, so we don't care if a person is black, white, blue, green, whatever color they are. It's a matter of how do they care about people. So we're not concerned over the fact that they are connected to the Philistines from way back when. I mean, who cares? But it's going to matter how they treat people today, in this time, okay? Not about what their ancestors have done through the years. I mean, we can go on and on about that, but that's inconsequential when it comes down to, it's a matter of the heart, okay? So the Jews, they uphold the Deuteronomy 6, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might and strength. And when you offer yourself as a living sacrifice unto God, as knowing your creator and you are the child of God, that unfortunately does not translate to many of the people that are calling themselves Palestinians. Okay, the issue there is the spirit is wrong. Okay, they are so far deceived generationally that you almost, how are you going to how is that going to make sense to do a two-state? How is it going to be? If you have a two-state, that means that you are not in authority of them. Someone else will be having authority over those group of people. So you can love them as much as you want, but if you were to allow them to self-govern and their religion, okay, which you're trying to promote in democracy only goes so far as the people are still upholding the value of humanity. But if you have that group of people not valuing humanity, then it doesn't make sense. So what is happening there is like a serious matter of the heart. Okay, you have the Jewish people who has laws that protect everybody of different nationality. Okay, you're giving them freedom of speech. But if you give freedom of speech and freedom of religion upon people, and you're allowing them to perpetuate the killing of their own children, and their religion is such a way that does not allow them to even care about their own, leave alone your children, then it's not going to work. So a two-state is never going to work. They tried it over and over, and this is already the picture of a two-state. Okay, so what happens to the Palestinian when you let them have a government? What happens to the Palestinians when you let them have a government? And their government is also their religion, and that's their culture. So the more you allow them to self-govern, the more you shoot yourself in the foot. Like literally, you put a bullet on your foot by allowing them to do that. Now, if you read the Old Testament over and over and over again, the Lord did not want these tribes to prosper over the fact that they do not uphold the values. But that is in the Old Testament. We're in the New Testament now. The fulfillment has already arrived. I believe it's in the book of Isaiah, where there is Emmanuel. Okay, so Emmanuel is now here. And even if they are Philistines, even the Palestinians come from Philistines, there are also bloodline of the Jewish people that are coming from the Canaanites. So it's a matter of value. So how are you going to implement your value over people that has a different government that is suppressing them, and they are trying to glorify Allah over and over, and Allah doesn't care about them because Allah is not their creator. It is a pseudo-God. Allah is a pseudo-God, and I have to repeat this over and over. Allah is a pseudo-God. He is not God the creator. And my heart just grieves because when I was reading the book, the Judges 16, I could tell that Samson really loved Delilah. It's like that's the love of his life, it appears. Like, I mean, he lost his eyes. He didn't say at the end, oh, I pray God would kill Delilah. No, he says, I want to take vengeance over the people that took my eyes, you know. And it's not Delilah, but Delilah is like the Judas. So, and he died there. He died. At the end, he died. He died defending, he died receiving God's strength. And there's definite conviction that took place. But he realized that he cannot, he has to take down the pillars. So the Jews nowadays have to take down the pillars because the pillars of Islam is not good for humanity. They don't care about human life. They are not praying to God the Creator. They are praying to Satan, who wants to kill human beings, including the Palestinians, including the children, including their children. And the Jews being the light, the menorah, menorah. Okay, just think about a men. The candelabra is the light. And the values that they uphold, Deuteronomy 6, okay, the thing that you put on your mezuzah, okay. You know, sus in Hebrew means a horse, okay. That means I'm a horse of God, okay. And what did Jesus Christ have? He laid on a manger to feed the horses. The horses have such dignity, okay. We don't sacrifice, we don't eat horses for that reason. They have certain value, okay. And I'm going to talk a little bit more next time about animals as well. And this is the heart of God, okay, is He loves people, but He also loves the animals. So You know, it's like Samson had a pet girl, okay, named Delilah. And Delilah is with the Philistines. She is as deceived as the people she hanged out with. It's her culture, okay? This is before the New Testament. The Palestinians, as much as they want to care for their children, they don't know how, because they are just to please Allah, and they are pawns of the people, the world leaders around the Islamic nations, and they are there pawned as a human shield. And where are the leaders? The leaders are far. They're in Qatar. Okay, so anyway, I'm taking this time, since my kids are absent, to do this video, because I really want to instill instill the love of God upon whomever would hear this. And my prayers goes through these walls. Our prayers goes through these walls. This is about the lives of people, children, and also there is 144,000 Jewish people that are going to they're not going to have idolatry. And I don't know if those people are getting born. Maybe this is why there's such an attack on children nowadays. And it's been, okay, and that is a system of Baal. This is Baal worship. Allah worship is Baal worship. Khadijah is the same as Khadijah is the wife of Muhammad, has the same spirit as Jezebel. Elijah are the Jews, and after Elijah it will be Elisha, and Elisha will do greater things than Elijah. And so what does Elisha get from Elijah? It is the prayer shawl. It is the prayer shawl. That is the same prayer shawl that Jesus Christ have. And read Matthew 16. I think Matthew 16:13. Read Judges 16. Okay, and you will see there is a key that will bring about the peace in Israel. And that key you will find in Matthew 16. I need you to read it for yourselves. So anyway, thank you and God bless.